in the heat of summer now, but Bleacher Talk continues. Welcome on in. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. And the academic school year may be over, but there's some really cool opportunities that we've seen for some of the students and potentially even some student athletes across the state as well. We're very big on that here with our all academic team, including all of our partners, including Desert Financial Credit Union, who Claudia, we just caught up with their president and CEO, Jeff Mishi. I mean, this was a really cool event that he was a part of.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to dive into that with Jeff Mishi. Later on in the show, you're going to see a very familiar face in Eliav Goodbye for another social spotlight segment. But I say let's head over to the East Coast and catch up with our partner over at Desert Financial Credit Union. Well, we're joined now by President and CEO of Desert Financial Credit Union and dear friend of us at Sports 360 AZ, Jeff Mishi. And we have him on today because of a really cool thing that Desert Financial did with the Arizona Cardinals to send 275 high school students from across Arizona to Washington, D.C. They got to fly on the Cardinals plane. They spent 4 days, 3 nights in D.C. I want to know more about how this trip came about and truly what the mission of this trip is.
Well, this is clearly the brainchild of Michael Bidwell. It's his personal passion project. This is actually the fourth of these trips that they've taken. It started under Governor Ducey and has continued with the current Governor Hobbs. And it really is exciting for these kids. By the way, the Cardinal plane is owned by Mr. Bidwell's got Gridiron Air now. He's got several 777 planes. And so all these kids are on the same plane. It's a big plane. And they took off last Wednesday morning from Sky Harbor and came over here to the Washington, D.C. area. And then were shuttled to the hotel on some buses. I think it took 6 buses to accommodate all the kids. And it's an exciting thing. We became aware of this and wanted to be part of it, so we were one of the presenting sponsors this year.
Why was it when you heard about it so important to you and to Desert Financial Credit Union to just, get in this sort of space with high school kids, looking to do different things like that?
Well, as you both know, education is part of our mission. It's part of our founding, really. And we believe in everybody having an opportunity to, pursue some education. This is a big education for these kids. I'm from the Northeast, and so it's common for high school kids to take a trip to DC. And it's pretty easy if you live, an hour or two away. To come from Arizona, most of these kids had never been to Washington, D.C., and even more of them, I think, had never been on an airplane. And so imagine their excitement to get to do this. And just for us, it just aligns so well with our mission to support education. And, they have to be from a Title I school. They have to do a pretty long essay they have to complete in order to get selected. I know the judging's probably pretty difficult to narrow it down to that many, but you could just see how excited the kids are when they're here, and they're just like sponges. They're just soaking it all in.
What do you think it says also about the Arizona Cardinals and obviously the staff there that prioritizes this just as much as Desert Financial? It's clearly a partnership, but it really speaks volumes about our NFL team here.
It really does. And I think it's born at a time when there's a lot going on, right, with our government. There's a lot of conflict, a lot of disagreement. And so for a high school kid to just know what it means to, be a good citizen and what's involved with our government, it's really a civics kind of a class. And I don't think there's enough civics being taught in the schools these days. But what a better way to experience it than firsthand. The first evening, they met for several hours with Representative Juan Ciscomani from Tucson, Arizona. And what a special person he is. And the kids are just so lucky to get to hear from him. But I think the Cardinals have a passion for it because they want to serve all of Arizona and they want to make a difference in the community. And I think this is definitely one way they can use their leverage to do that. not everybody's got a team plane that they can volunteer. And, not everybody's got the deep pockets that they have that they can contribute towards this. So I really do have a newfound respect for their community efforts. You haven't seen this firsthand.
Was there anything that you learned being out there, or any memories that you made with the kids?
I did, and the first evening was really special because everybody's so excited. Then the next day was all about touring some monuments, and I was a little bit worried because the Jefferson Memorial was the first one, and Thomas Jefferson's kind of been vilified over the past, couple of years. And from there, we went to the FDR Memorial, and then to the MLK one. And so it's kind of a mix, right? It's going through the 1700s to the 1900s. And just to, yeah, I learned some things for sure. And just to put it in perspective on what a kid thinks. I've got two teenagers of my own, so I know a little bit from talking to them, but just being, exposed to this many kids was great. It was a great experience for me as well.
As someone who grew up or spent the last 3 years of high school in DC, I think I could give a blindfolded tour of the National Mall at this point, because every time somebody came to visit, it was the same thing, but there's so much history. It's so fascinating, regardless of what your political stance is, on any side of the spectrum. There's something for everybody there. So it's super fun. But last thing for me, as you said, it's the fourth annual Civics Matters Arizona trip to DC. How do you see this continuing or developing moving forward?
Well, the Cardinals want to keep it going, and they want to make it bigger and involve more people. So they want to extend it to folks that can't go on the trip as well, so that more students are benefiting from it. From our standpoint, we want to get more involved too, from a financial literacy standpoint. So one of the surprise things that we did for all the kids, and this was announced at the kind of takeoff, we have a Kickstart account for youth. That we've started offering at the credit union. And so we funded an account for $125 for each kid. So they're now going to have an account with us. And I think where we can really lean in and help more is on financial literacy, learning how to manage your money. And, it's difficult now because since COVID, really, you need to have a credit card or a debit card to be able to go to any sports venue. Cash isn't accepted anymore. And so these kids are having to use their parents' cards. I know that from being a parent. And it's much better for them to have their own card where the parents are on the account and can kind of keep an eye on, what's being spent and how much is in it. So we were happy to provide that as one of the presenting sponsors. And I'm just so excited to see where this goes from here. I think they keep adding elements each year. Another one of the really cool things that they did this year that, I'm sure many of us will never get a chance to do, they met with a Supreme Court justice in the Supreme Court. Now, that's just not something everybody gets a chance to do. That's a rare opportunity. But Michael Bidwell's got some contacts, and, it's just great to see him use them, and in a way that really benefits so many people.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. This is a really cool event to kind of see unfold from afar, and we appreciate your perspective and insight on it.
Happy to do it. Thanks for having me.
I can bank when I want, where I want.
I can show my school spirit with every purchase.
I get rewarded for all I do with them, like a rate discount on my first auto loan.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey, how's it going? All right, ready, let's go. So excited.
This is a Santan Ford announcement.
Santan Ford is taking delivery of over 500 new cars and trucks. All models are priced for immediate sale to make room for more arrivals. Don't wait. Head to Tim Hovey's Santan Ford in Gilbert.
We are Santan Ford.
Nothing brings people and families together faster than sharing food. Great friends, memories, and good times. For over 2 generations, Valle Luna has served you the food that brought you together, and we've been proud to do so. We're fortunate to have been a part of so many stories, gatherings, and traditions that continue on today and will tomorrow. Start a tradition of your own. Come taste authentic Sonoran-style food with your family and friends here with us at Valle Luna.
Visit us at Harrah's Auction Casino in the city of Maricopa, where you'll find play for all and friendly people ready to welcome you like family.
Welcome back, you two.
As the official sponsor of Play and the only casino in Arizona with Caesars Rewards, see what a difference it makes to play where your fun is our top priority. Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all.
What would you need to experience life in full motion? Expertise to provide the best care, unsurpassed training and technique. It requires the best orthopedic surgeons. Ortho Arizona.
I can bank when I want, where I want.
There are no hidden fees. I checked the fine print.
They give back to the community I'm working to conserve.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey guys. Hey, how's it going? All right, ready, let's go. I'm so excited.
Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon with Claudia Collins. We're here at Venezia's Pizza, and Wyatt Horton is here with us. Now, your name came up, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times talking to Coach Zupke and now your former teammates. I mean, what's it like as you're getting ready to go to college and we're sitting here eating pizza? What's it like just kind of reflecting on your legacy at Pinnacle a little bit?
Tons of emotion, honestly. It's weird. I'm seeing Michael and Lugo sit up here, and not going to get to play with them next year. I know it's weird for them. It's definitely weird for me, and especially Coach Zupke. He and I have had a relationship for a very long time, and to kind of move on, yes, I'm going to a bigger stage, but it's definitely going to, be a little adjustment, once I get up there. But no, I'm excited. It's been a good journey. So
I'm going to take things back a little bit before high school. Getting into football, what really influenced you to really take on this sport? I know you've got older brothers. What influence did they have on you?
I mean, my dad was a big soccer player, so I know he was hoping to, he put us in soccer, but I guess it didn't really stick. And my older brother, started playing tackle, and me and my other brother kind of saw that and just, followed along, did the same thing. And my brother, I talk about him all the time. He's amazing. He kind of led the way for me and showed me, what it means to, one, be a pioneer, and two, just, how to go about playing the game the right way. And just kind of wanted to be like him.
Speaking on that, I mean, you got to experience a lot of things, winning the job as a sophomore, getting to a state championship game that year. Next year coming in, a player transfers in, number 1 in his class in the country, and you end up just staying and winning the job and continuing to push forward and just having all the success. I mean, do you realize what that kind of does to other players coming up and kind of the impact that can have on them of just do your work, continue being coachable, stay true, and the right things will happen?
For sure. I mean, I'm glad that I could be a testimony to any other, players in similar shoes that I was freshman, sophomore, junior, really any year that I had here. It's like, there's a story within every little, obstacle I had, and I'm glad that, I could show kids maybe how to do it, give them some inspiration, some confidence.
What I love to highlight about Pinnacle is it's really a program where people have had an opportunity to really leave a mark and a legacy. We've seen so many people before you go on and do really big things. What do you hope your legacy is that you leave at Pinnacle?
Originally, it was to be in that same situation, the same conversation as, Rattler, Lewerke, Johnson, and it's pretty cool to kind of hear my name thrown in there. I still, here and there, just, get kind of amazed that's, normal now, and so, I mean, I'm glad that I have made an impact here, and really just the guys in the room. It's cool to get the attention and the media and all that, but my teammates and the underclassmen, now that I'm gone, to see them keeping traditions that, I may have started, or really the team stuff. It's like, to see those guys kind of learn a lot from me, and for me to be able to teach them and guide them and, have a part in their life is the biggest impact to me.
All right, we'll make it a little bit of a recruiting roundup meets Bleacher Talk. What advice do you have for, rising seniors looking to make their decision where they want to play, what they want to do? What went into your choice to go to Idaho State?
That's a good question. Honestly, I've had the same motto since I started the process, and it was just go where I'm wanted, especially in today's college football. And now it's, you're going to hear a lot of things that don't necessarily, or that aren't necessarily true. There's a lot of unfortunate stuff in the recruiting world, but, to find that, I'm very blessed and lucky that I found a staff and a head coach that believes in me and a program that makes me feel wanted, makes me feel, the way I want to feel, not just talking, but, shows me and welcomes me, and, I'm excited to get up there, and I know I'll be taken care of up there, so.
I want to know, favorite high school football memory on and off the field?
Favorite memory is definitely state championship. I mean, even though towards the end it wasn't the best memory, the whole experience, I mean, the whole week, we got to tour ASU, we got to, practicing in December is like one of the best feelings ever. There's only like 2 or 3 other teams doing it. And then the actual game, we had a great first half. Had 4 touchdowns. So, and it was just, I tell people all the time, every touchdown, it got louder and louder. It was such a cool experience to be a part of, to see the whole town, whole school rally behind you. Camp is always a good one. Sophomore year, went up to Prescott, Camp Tonazono, and, just messing around with everyone. Coach Zepke got pretty mad at us one morning, made us get up at 5 a.m.
I can bank when I want, where I want.
I can show my school spirit with every purchase.
I get rewarded for all I do with them, like a rate discount on my first auto loan.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey guys. Hey, how's it going? All right, ready, let's go. I'm so excited.
It's the model year end kickoff sales event going on now at Burge Mazda. Now's the time to save on the very latest 2025 Mazda models, like a 2025 CX-5, just $299 a month, or the versatile CX-50, just $289 a month, or save with 2.9% financing on the luxurious CX-90. Now's the time to upgrade and save at Burge Mazda during the model year kickoff event. Come in and celebrate at Burge Mazda, Baseline and Country Club.
Ortho Arizona and my journey. My knees were shot, so I had double knee replacement, and I wanted the best in rehab. Ortho Arizona encouraged and pushed me in the process. Go to orthoarizona.org. That's orthoarizona.org.
And welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. And that's right, you see Eliav Gabay here, so it's only right that we've got one last social spotlight to wrap up the spring season. Teams are getting into their summer workouts and summer 7-on-7, so there's a lot happening after spring football. Eliav, what are you seeing out there?
Well, we are bouncing around, and I don't know how many people here remember the year 1997. That's when I was born. I know I'm dating myself a little bit, and then for some other viewers, oh, that's a youngin. Well, Centennial did a pretty awesome job bringing a camcorder straight out of the 90s to practice, and it was a great idea, Spurge. I know that you loved it too, but the old-fashioned look, the guys having fun. Isn't that what spring football is really all about?
You know, the old things, they always come back. I found one of these recently too. It's just so cool. You can drop them and they don't break because they're actually made sturdy back in the day and all that stuff. So really cool to see that they brought out a camcorder there and got that vintage feel. It's coming back in style, and that's just so creative and cool. And we might have to steal some of that stuff to have our own ideas at Big 12 Media Days and other stuff coming up. Stay tuned for that maybe as we go searching for those. But it's just so cool to see just different creative content. It's good for the creatives, whether those are students or hired out people that they're bringing in. And it's good for the players. They love it. They get to have some fun and see a different angle and maybe relate to their parents a little bit more. Seeing that footage, I'm sure some of the parents are having big flashbacks and maybe shocked that it's still a thing out here. But that's just super cool to see for sure.
Yeah, if you're inspiring any kind of content for Sports 360 AZ, you're doing something right. Now, speaking of having fun during the spring, Arizona Christian putting on some competition between the local high schools, some 7-on-7s, Northwest Christian, ALA Ironwood, the winners of the 7-on-7 and big man competitions. Claudia, how important is it for these local colleges to put on these kind of events so high schools remember, hey, we are here?
I think you said it perfectly. Our local colleges, which honestly do a wonderful job of recruiting in the state. I mean, they really are kind of the benchmark of how to do it. Take notes, other programs that I will leave unnamed. I think the best way to look at it is like any opportunity is a great opportunity and it should not be overlooked. And so, say what you will about 7-on-7s, everybody has mixed feelings about it, but regardless, getting out to a college, seeing their field, seeing their facilities, and yes, just remembering, hey, this is an option. It's in my backyard if I don't want to go far from home. Always, always great. And I think my recruiting roundup counterpart, Cody Cameron, would probably agree.
Oh, we know he would, and he'd be extra ecstatic about it too. We know that as well. Now, something we were very extra ecstatic about was Dobson's gym that they got installed. We did a show from there. I know we're very familiar with the area, but Spurge and Claudia, we'll start with Spurge. How great is it to see the guys getting that working in this beautiful gym here, I might add?
I mean, it's the perfect time for that. The weight room, it's hot right now, but they're getting in there. You know, they got good AC and lots of great equipment. So I'm sure Coach Newcomb, come on over there from Castile, is probably very excited to just be in that brand new weight room and get that program where he wants to be. We all got a chance to see them a little bit at the Mesa Showcase a couple of weeks ago, and it's a team that might surprise people. And size is something me and Cody Cameron were talking a lot about on the broadcast, and that's where you add more size in the weight room. And I know that's something that Coach Newcomb's going to focus on a lot. But Claudia, it was kind of one of the coolest weight rooms that we ever saw when it first opened a couple years ago, right?
I was just going to say to any of our viewers that would like to call themselves OGs, you might be getting some flashbacks to one of our like very first, I think, social spotlights and just full episodes over at Dobson. And we've talked about, the Mesa School District a lot and all of the upgrades that they've had. And I really do think, I mean, this is something that we were talking about with coaches when they were coming off the field at the Mesa showcases. It does have an impact. Yeah, at the end of the day, like what you produce on the field is kind of what's going to translate the most. But all of these things are huge motivators. And so, yeah, I mean, nice to see these guys making use of these nice facilities. I mean, I know all of us would kill to have had a gym like that in high school.
I was just about to say that. We'd be getting it in for sure, but that's all we got for Social Spotlight.
And that's all for Bleacher Talk. If you want more Bleacher Talk or just anything recruiting news, we have so much to plug over at sports360az.com. We'll see you next time.
I can bank when I want, where I want. There are no hidden fees. I check the fine print.
They give back to the community I'm working to conserve.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey guys. Hey, how's it going? All right, ready, let's go. I'm so excited.
This is a Santan Ford announcement. Santan Ford is taking delivery of over 500 new cars and trucks. All models are priced for immediate sale to make room for more arrivals. Don't wait. Head to Tim Hovey's Santan Ford in Gilbert.
We are Santan Ford.
Nothing brings people and families together faster than sharing food. Great friends, memories, and good times. For over 2 generations, Valle Luna has served you the food that brought you together, and we've been proud to do so. We're fortunate to have been a part of so many stories, gatherings, and traditions that continue on today and will tomorrow. Start a tradition of your own. Come taste authentic Sonoran-style food with your family and friends here with us at Valle Luna.
Let's talk about Venezia's Pizzeria. New York-style pizza. Oh, man, this looks so good. Pizza doughs made fresh daily, wings, subs, sandwiches, pasta. They cater, they deliver. They have 5 Valley locations. Venezia's New York-style Pizzeria.